What's up, guys? It's Rob here, and we have to talk about Tattooed Chef stock, ticker symbol TTCF. And this is a huge deal. A lot has been going on with this stock, especially over the past 24 hours. You can see on the chart that this stock is currently down about 6%. And that's unfortunate for a lot of traders because this stock has been very popular on Reddit and Wall Street Bets lately. A lot of people are hoping for a short squeeze and a gamma squeeze. And let's see what this has been doing over the past 30 days. You can see that we're at lows of around $16. And we actually just recently hit highs of 25 just earlier today before sinking down quite a bit. Now we're sitting around 22.50, and people are wondering where this is going to go from here. So let me just say, first of all, let me actually just show you something pretty cool. On my Robinhood portfolio, I've actually been trading TTCF, and I had sold some put options on August 16th. Let's see if you can see that right there for 520 bucks. And this morning I bought them both back for $200 each. So that actually netted me a $120 profit. Just thought I'd show you guys that because it's pretty cool. You can see that I was selling these, I sold them a couple days ago, but I actually bought them back around 10:04 right here on this bar. And the reason I did that was because if you actually look, let's see if we can zoom to this time frame until 10:04. This looked like a pretty menacing chart, actually, because we had seen some very strong upwards pressure, but we were then rejected by a massive red bar, which is always a warning sign for me, right? When I see a massive red bar like this, I always get very nervous, just because that can really bode ill for the stock, and especially when it continues just dipping and dipping and dipping, making lows for the day. That's when I start to get very nervous. So I ended up selling out. And good thing I did, right? Because this thing continued crashing, and those put options would probably be worth quite a bit more now and be much more expensive to buy back than they were when I sold, or rather when I bought. So what is going on with TCCF, right? What has been going on lately? Well, a lot of Reddit and Wall Street Bets traders have been trying to short squeeze this, essentially. So if you look at the past 30 days, you can see that we've been on quite a significant rise. And this is because of the attention that it's been getting mostly on Reddit and Wall Street Bets, but also because of the resistance level that we've hit right here at $16. This was a very natural place for us to turn around. You can see 16 is typically where we've turned around in the past. In the far off past, we have actually broken below and hit around 14, but not for very long. And 16 did somewhat act as a resistance there, or rather a support. And in the more recent past, we've hit 16 a couple of times and bounced right off, which is what we did again. Now, it also makes sense, right, that this pump that we were experiencing has kind of slowed, if not stopped, right around 24, 25, because that's kind of where we've stopped in the past, right? We've actually, if you notice, this is kind of forming a wedge pattern right here, a very, very wide wedge pattern. And I'd be very curious to see if this actually plays itself out the entire way. But we have kind of been forming a bit of a wedge with TTCF over the past year. The lows have been getting higher and the highs have been getting lower somewhat, right? It didn't quite hold up right here. However, this is a very interesting pattern to take account of, especially if we don't break through this. Then I could potentially see us trading in this wedge pattern until we either shoot out one way or the other, most likely to the upside, right? TTCF is a pretty solid stock. It has the attention of a lot of real experienced investors, such as Jeremy Lefebvre from Financial Education, from that YouTube channel. If you guys follow him, it doesn't have the support of other YouTubers like Meet Kevin. So that's something to watch out for. Potentially what was going on with this stock today, at least. If you look at the massive downward pressure, potentially Meet Kevin was shorting, right? No, not really. But that is, this is some downwards pressure, and I did kind of expect it to continue after I, bought out of my put position. And it's unfortunate to see, but however, it is nice that we are bouncing off of this resistance because I am bullish on TTCF. I do hold stock long term, and I hope that this continues to appreciate. Now, as for the short squeeze, how feasible do I think that is? Well, let's look at the percent of float shorted. It is currently at 24%, which is actually quite a significant amount. If you look at the market cap for TTCF, it's 1.97 billion. Now, that's a fairly it's not a massive market cap, right? But that's a fairly large percent of float shorted considering what the market cap being what it is, right? Because that means that there's about $400 million worth of short positions out there. Really more than that, probably 450, maybe 500. So that is a pretty significant amount. And that means that, if this stock really did get running up quite a bit, then, maybe say we get up to like, maybe if it hits like 30, 40 bucks, people would start to get very worried, right? The shorts would start to get very worried and maybe start closing their positions. And another thing to take note of is the options interest, right? You can see that a lot of the open interest options are rather small right here. So this is going to give us an idea of what date to pay attention to regarding TTCF stocks. So you can see the open interest. I've explained this in other videos. This is essentially how many options contracts are out and being held, right? Call options. That's what we're looking at right here. For specific strike prices and dates. And you can see that on September 17th, there's actually a ton of open interest call options available on TTCF. You can see 17,000 for a $20 strike price, 11,000 for a $22 strike price, 10,000 for a $25 strike price, and 12,000 for a $30 strike price. So if by September 17th, this thing really starts running up, that could create some massive buying pressure by institutions who have sold those call options and are looking to essentially protect themselves to the downside, right? Because they will actually have to buy those shares to cover their position if this stock starts moving in a way that they hope it won't, right? If it starts moving in an upwards direction. So that could also be a potential catalyst for spurring a short squeeze. So it's just something to watch out for. And by the look of it, I watched this crash happen, and I did watch this recovery, at least the beginning of it. And we can see that it is somewhat well underway, right? And this resistance level makes, or rather this support level makes a lot of sense. It was the previous high that we were at over the past 30 days, right before the earnings call, 2185. So it does make a lot of sense that we're bouncing off right there, because there isn't actually, at least not that I could find, any bad news spurring this massive crash, right? It was probably just some investors looking at the technicals and saying, hey, look at this. We've spiked up quite a bit. Maybe we were buying around 16, 17, 18, and they wanted to sell out for 25, 24, 23. And, they did that. Now we're at 22.68. So potentially we're going to continue moving in an upwards direction now that some other retail investors have been able to pick up those shares. We'll just have to wait and see. But I don't think that we'll be crashing below 21.85. At least not for a significant period of time, right? I think that that's acting as a pretty strong support level and will probably continue to do so for at least the rest of the day. So that's what I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, feel free to like it and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate you doing both of those things. But if you don't want to, then no pressure. Feel free to just exit the video, click off right now, and only if you want to like the video and subscribe to the channel should you actually do that. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.